Robb Stark might not jump out to most as the best written character on GOT, but let's unpack this a bit. For starters, he's not a point-of-view POV character in the A Song of Ice and Fire novels, which is an intriguing choice by George R.R. Martin. Showrunners for the HBO series, however, elevated his presence, and in doing so, they spun a story that gave fans a solid leader to root for, at least for a time. Robb's arc is entwined with the allure of youthful ambition, honor, and the haunting effect of daring to reach for a throne. This is a character who was thrust into a leadership role far too early after the execution of his father, Ned Stark, beacon of the honorable House Stark. Leadership, as it turns out, is a violent and unforgiving lesson in Westeros. Robb excels in battle tactics, wins the hearts of his men, and is declared king in the north, restoring a sense of pride and independence to his people. There's a lot to cheer for here, but GOT is nothing if not a relentless subverter of expectations. Reflecting back on the early hopefulness and stark, pun intended, descent that his story ultimately takes, Robb's character serves as a stark reminder, there I go again, of the brutal realities in Martin's world. His choices, dictated by honor and heart alike, lead to catastrophic consequences, not just for him, but for his entire house. Moreover, the way Robb is written showcases the nuanced interplay between power and vulnerability. His scenes with his mother Catelyn reveal the boy behind the king, and his romance with Talisa profoundly depicts the human ability and folly of following one's heart over one's head, especially in the fatal Game of Thrones. Robb's narrative doesn't span the entirety of the series like others, but it punches with pivotal moments that shape the arcs of those who outlive him. And don't get me started on the Red Wedding. Talk about a masterclass in setting up and executing too soon, a jaw-dropping twist. The fallout from that event alone marks his arc as one of the most consequential, if not the most flawlessly executed. In the pantheon of GOT characters, whether Robb Stark is the best is subjective, but his tale bears all the hallmarks of what makes Game of Thrones memorable: the unpredictability of war, the cost of nobility, and the sting of betrayal. Living in Portland, nestled amongst the evergreens and often overcast skies, I can't help but draw parallels between the mood of the Pacific Northwest and the brooding atmospheric backdrops that framed Robb's march through the Riverlands and the North. The same way the fog hugs our forests, mystery and ambiguity envelop the characters of GOT, and Robb Stark, while not necessarily the victor in the end, carries the banner of one of the show's most compelling and tragic figures.